Hello there. Welcome to Real Talk with Angry Soccer Mom. If you're here, please say hello. Just starting out, almost on time, but it's me. What can I say? I'm very happy for anyone who's watching. And I want to do a quick intro, and then we will get into the stuff because there's a lot of it. Please feel free to jump in anytime and say hello and tell me what's on your mind. All right? So welcome to Real Talk with Angry Soccer Mom. The live show discussion topics, as always, include anything you feel is newsworthy about racism, bigotry, inequality, and corruption in America. This show is meant to be an opportunity for viewers to speak their mind and also to serve as an educational tool for white folks to learn cultural competency with a focus on learning the truth about systemic racism in America. So I'm going to start with some announcements like I always do, and we will go from there. Last week was a bit of a disaster because we had my internet actually went out, the entire street basically. So I'm hoping tonight that we're good. I wanted to start out by thanking everyone who sends me breaking news. I appreciate it. You have no clue how much I appreciate it because I can't keep up with all this craziness. And this is where you'd send it if you do have breaking news for me. I appreciate it very much. March 7th at 9 Eastern, we're going to have our first book chat meeting. I'm very excited. It's going to be on this book, and a lot of us have seen this book before or read it, but it'll be a quick discussion, and you don't even have to read the book. Okay, yes. Oh, Pat, welcome. Yay, my first hello. Thanks for being here. And I know that sounds absolutely obnoxious, like we're having a little book club that you don't have to read the book, but I understand people are super busy. And if you're a white person and you want to learn, then don't worry about it. Just come and listen and learn. And if you're a person who's read it and who lives this, lives in this system of horrendous racism, then you will be an expert panel person and you can jump in and educate and give your input if you like. I would love that. This is the book we're starting out with, but I'm going to do a quick summary. The first 2 minutes, quick summary, and then we'll have people talk. And that'll be it. And no one's going to pounce on anybody, hopefully, because I'm hoping a bunch of beginners will come. I can only hope. We'll see what happens. So that will be starting. We'll be doing White Fragility by Dr. Robin DiAngelo, starting March 7th at 9 p.m. Eastern. So I hope people want to come. If you know anybody who could kind of use this, or, maybe they're kind of on the fence with knowing what's really going on and they want to learn, it would be a nice opportunity. So please spread the word for me, and I appreciate it very much. So we'll have anywhere from, absolute experts who live it every day to people who don't really know much about systemic racism because their experience, it just hasn't crossed their paths. And yes, I know it sounds incredibly impossible, but it's true. We're so segregated. Don't even get me started. There's no excuse now. Anybody who wants to learn can learn. Otherwise, it's kind of willful ignorance otherwise, because you know what's going on. No more hiding and pretending you don't know what's going on. All right. I'm going to be free. Pat, when I told you that the vaccine was already invented since 2015? Well, it's true. I'll send you some info, Pat. Okay, it sounds awfully conspiracy theory-ish. I'm not trying to be, I like to keep it real, Pat. You can send, I will absolutely look at anything you send me. But are you talking about the vaccine for the coronavirus that didn't exist in, until COVID-19? 2019? So I'm confused, but not trying to be obnoxious, no conspiracy. Okay. All right. Because we do not go there on this show. But I will read anything you put. I'm happy to look at it. Definitely put it right on here if you can. All right. Thanks. Because I am going with science, hard science. I'm going with social science. Okay. I know, Pat, you're wonderful. I'm not trying to be a be mean. I'm not trying to be that mean, angry soccer mom. Take it all on you guys. All right. I'm going to be doing free streaming every Sunday from 3 to 5. And so far it's gone great. I come to do work and hang out. I want to get to know people, and everybody who's come by has been wonderful, and just we've had really nice conversations. Kind of crazy. If you want to call in, you can handle it, Pat. Okay, thanks. I'm hard on you, Pat, but I'm telling you, with all this fake crap going around, I am not. I will not go there. But I mean, you can handle it, but I just don't want to. Whatever. Okay, I'll shut up. I don't want to be mean, but I have to keep my standards. There's just so much conspiracy bullshit going around. It's ludicrous. It really is, because people just don't rely on the professionals anymore. And professionals usually, we're so specialized. Professionals usually have, they have a PhD in it, they have a doctorate in it, whatever. It means that they actually have studied this a long, long time. So it's imperative that we stick with professionals. All opinions are not created equal, as we have learned the hard way. I know you don't want to do fake stuff. I'm just giving you a bad time. My next announcement, which is kind of exciting, kind of crazy, strange. I'm going to really need people's help on it. This is kind of weird. Oh, this guy's a doctor. Okay, and Pat, just because it's a doctor, I'm gonna scrutinize the hell out of whatever you have, because that's really what we have to understand. And I'm not going to get into it. Is this? We can talk about America and how screwed up our racism is, and it is. It's really bad. But for something to happen with something that's happening to the entire world, that would mean that every single person in every single country was in on it. Okay? And if I know human tendencies, we can't even keep a freaking secret for 1 second. So that's not a lot more to be said. But so we gotta understand that this isn't just happening in America. There's a lot we don't understand, and you will always find someone who will say what you want. But enough said. Okay, I just really want to stay away from those conspiracy theory stuff. So, okay, I know. You're like, shut up. Okay. I'm going to try to, as many of you know, I've been really struggling keeping up with the news because it's like every hour it turns over. And it's really important to me that I'm actually, legitly, glad I'm giving you a good laugh, Pat. I'm being harsh on you. But I've decided I'm going to try to take this YouTube channel in a little bit of different direction, not too much. Hi, I am Legend. Thank you for saying hi. And thank you for being here. Jump in whenever you want. We're just doing quick intros, and I'm coming down hard on Pat, which is like, probably, I don't want you to feel bad. And what I'm going to try to do is do less about current news that you could get from, any major station. And nails and glitter, the technology existed in 2016. The genetics, the copy didn't exist. Okay, well, that makes sense. That maybe that's what Pat's saying, because it's just another coronavirus. I get. Okay. I'll read anything. I'm just very wary. You know me, nails and glitter. I'm not going down that road. But okay. Sorry, I don't want to insult anybody. Thank you. That makes of course that makes sense. All right. So what I'm going to try to do is create this channel and kind of morph it into a top 10 channel. And what that means is it's not really a big change. It's just a change in the format, because I can't keep up, and I really want to keep up. But I also work, and it's insane. I get no sleep. I'm glad you're still laughing, Pat. That makes sense. Okay. The other way was like, what? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask for everybody's help and what you want to hear. And here's some examples. I have like 1,000 examples. I have one coming up, top 10 things white folks need to know about Black people's hair. And it's pretty serious. It's written by a combination of a ton of information. I want to do a top 10 about our justice, top 10 ways our justice system is racist and corrupt, top 10 ways police are racist and corrupt. Oh, but that's a toughie. Not all in a row. I'm just giving you some examples. Top 10 ways poor people are treated much better in other countries. So we can do a little compare and contrast for anyone who's not well off. I'm in. Top 10 things you need to know about reparations. Top 10 things you need to know. Best practices in other countries that we don't use. So those are all, ideas. I have seriously like 100 of them. I'm going to try to use that format so I can be more concise. You don't get to be offended by science. Yes. Thank you. Yes. No. I'm not. It's just, yes. Okay. I'm going to go everywhere. Top 10 things that white people did when they enslaved humans. I mean, I am going everywhere, and it's going to be extremes, and it's going to be right in the middle. And that's how I'm going to try to reformat it. So wish me luck. Wish me luck. So it might not be as much just everyday news as it is specialty things. And I'm really going to do my research and make sure I, look into experts. Topics. Lee wants to know, what are the topics for tonight? I'm getting there. Topics for tonight. Oh my gosh. I have so many top 10 things. I can't scroll through it. What I have. Black people's hair and reparations are a great topic. Thank you so much. My list, I literally had 100 more things, but I was going to read them all, and then I'm like, no. How, as a member of the dominant society, do you feel about reparations for Black Americans? Not sure people. That's a great question. As a white person, it is so not my say. Okay, and I've gone over this. Foundational. Thank you. I kind of fall back on the ADOS. I kind of, that's there, like, and I know there are other organizations, but that's, as a white person, I don't get to, as a member of the group that is the oppressor, it's really not my place to be like, oh, well, this is what I think, because you know what? It's none of my freaking business. Obviously, I will be doing top 10s about it and writing about it and doing a lot of research about it. My personal opinion is that I support what Black, Brown, and Indigenous, Black African Americans who were whose families were, brought over, kidnapped, enslaved, and forced to be here, or were here and were forced to. So I uphold what best practices for Black people in America in general, and I always will. I mean, I shouldn't say always, never say never, but that will always be I'm very supportive of what they want. It's not about what I think. It doesn't matter what I think. So I know that sounds kind of like weird, but you'll always find somebody who doesn't support it. It's usually a person who doesn't understand it or who's trying to stand out. But absolutely, I support what my Black brothers and sisters want and need. It's not up to me to say what that is. I mean, obviously, I'll easily say that whatever happens, systemic racism has to be just dismantled. It has to be in every area, or any amount of reparations will only last so long. This is a system. This is a system that we created. Not we, not you personally, if you're white, but that we created in order to ensure, or at least as much as we could, that Black people in America would have a very, very hard time having equity and accumulating generational wealth that was allowed for others. We did this over time. So it's really not for the oppressor to say, but I will read your good question. I've been asked that a lot of times before. Do you think Black Americans and Africans should receive benefits together, or are we a separate entity? Again, I'm not trying to wimp out. I know not to cross a line. Hi, T. Rogers. I know not to cross a line. I stay in my lane. It's kind of a tough thing because systemic racism in America is so rampant and so widespread, and the depths of it, just how deep it goes, oh my God, most people have, most white folks have no freaking clue. I always tell the white folks I work with, take whatever you think it is and multiply it by a gazillion, and you may be getting close. It permeates the air and the space. It's unbelievable. And so here's the problem with that. The reason I bring that up, those are great questions, Lee, by the way. And this is the stuff I like talking about. Let's say, for example, an adopted child came over, or whose parents said, I want my child to come to America, and it's a Black child from another country, one of the countries in Africa. Well, that parent purposely sent their child there, but that child will get there, and even if they're raised in a white family or very upper class Black family, nobody is going to look at them and go, oh, well, they're this. No, they're going to look at them as just another. You know what? If they're racist as fuck, which a lot of white people are. So there is the extreme discrimination and racism. It's kind of all over the place. So it's a really hard call. I don't know. I don't have the answer to that. Let me see. You're acknowledged that some Black people were already here in America before slavery. I'm proud. Thank you. You're welcome. Absolutely. Thank you. No, I am here to learn too. Thank you. Yeah. Absolutely. There's a lot of research going on, and a lot happening with, the definition. Obviously, white people defined it as Black, but no, there's a ton of research going. All this stuff is not a completed science. It really isn't. Okay, let me see, Lee. What are you doing to replace the system injustice racism in your world with system of justice, because racism is a system of injustice? Can you, you're Indigenous, got it. Okay. Can you reword that for me? Because I'm not, in my world, you mean, what do I do to try to support equity for all? And is that kind of what you're asking? Just ask me again, because I'm not 100%. Or you can call in and ask me if you want, if you're not shy to call in. So, all right. So yeah, just ask me again, because I'm not 100% sure what you're asking exactly. But hang on one second. I'm going to try. Okay. So, while Lee is doing that, back. I have some news to be noted. Oh, you can call in. Okay. I'll get the number. Hang on one second. I'm getting there. Let me see here. A little out of order tonight. Let me just grab it. Things have been a little crazy here, I have to say. So please excuse my total and complete disorganization. I think people are used to it by now. Maybe. Let me see. I am opening up something else. I'm going to find, boop, maybe I'll find it. Maybe I won't. Give me 2 seconds. I'm not sure why I do not have it. There we go. Just give me 2 seconds and it will be found. That's strange. I did a ton of rearranging things. All right. So this is the number. Normally I have it right on hand. I do not know why. And if you could call in after my very short rant, I would so appreciate it. I'm just going to kind of going over quick business right now, and I'll go over the stuff that we're going to talk about tonight. And obviously we'll talk about anything that anybody wants at any time. But for news to be noted, there's so much happening that I ended up, thanks, Lee, I ended up just listing a ton of stuff. So I'm going to rattle it off, stop blabbing and rattle it off. Let me just back it up here. So we have, okay, there we go. We have the call-in number. I'm doing free streaming on Sunday from 3 to 5. I just hang out and get to know people who watch the show and who are my friends. I've had 2. They've been awesome. I mean, we've gotten some seriously heated conversations, and we've also just kind of hung out. So I'm thrilled. I hang out. No one comes. I'll cry. No, if no one comes, I'll just do research and look up things, and somebody will come by and say hi. It's just free stream I'm doing. And if you want to call into the show, there's the number. I had it all along. Silly me. Just do it after the rant, and the rant's really short tonight. So I told you about my secret. I'm going to turn this into a top 10. I'm going to work towards that because I'm overwhelmed by the news cycle, which really sucks because I love doing the breaking news, but I can't keep up. I'm an old lady, people. I can't keep up. So please come to on March 7th. It's going to be our first book club. You don't have to read the book. I said it a million times there. And the reason is I'm going to do a quick summary. And then if you want to be on the panel, get a hold of me because I want you. And there'll be a lot of beginners there, but there'll also be people who live this and who can help educate and listen and learn. And it will be geared towards beginners, of course, but as usual. But then I'm just going to put one more time. If you do want to talk to me privately, anything, there is where you can get a hold of me. God knows I do not know how. All right. News to be noted, and then I'll do my rant, and then we're going to keep going. I have so many videos, you guys. Top 10 hidden history. Oh, yes. Call in about mutual aid after the rant. Yes, yes, yes. Definitely. That's a great idea. Thank you, Nails and Glitter. Top 10 hidden history, top 10 perks that if you're wealthy, you get and aren't fair. Top 10 racial history that you must know if you are striving to be anti-racist. I can't wait. News to be noted. And a lot of this is really sad. I have a kid this age. Louisiana, and I know you guys all know this, the Louisiana officer shown, this is news to be noted, so it's quick, not really a big discussion. You can look it up yourself if you're interested. News to be noted, Louisiana officer was shown very vividly using a chokehold on a 13-year-old little boy. And I say little boy because that is what a 13-year-old is. It's a little boy, okay? I have had 13-year-olds. They're children, right? They're little teens, but they are children. The teenager was charged with battery of a police officer. Yeah, right. That pissed me off to no end. I'm not going to get into it because I will flip shit, okay? I'm sorry. This child did not have a weapon. He's 13 years old. Sorry, I said I was going to get into it. Yeah, thanks, T. Rogers. The family says that the teen was mistaken for somebody else. Yeah, they basically gave him PTSD and trauma by terrorizing him the rest of his life, and it was the wrong person. I don't even, words can't explain. All right, news to be noted. The U.S. This is something I really wanted people to know, and a friend who watches our show kind of is really into this, and she's going to help me out with this information. That I don't know if everyone's aware of this or not. The U.S. Protest Law Tracker there's a nonprofit that has been following federal and state level laws that stop peaceful protesting, and this is extremely serious. Obviously, the GOP. The evil, racist GOP is going to, and I say evil, and I think it's pretty easy to say at this point, it's not a political party, it's a hate party. That's my opinion. No one told me to say that. That's what I feel. I will try to be clear about what's my opinion and what's like I read from somebody else. I truly feel it's been made quite obvious. It was always kind of obvious, but let's just say Trump helped push it over the edge. So it's been tracking these things from the 2016 and on. And what it tracks is restrictions to peaceful assembly. And according to this website, which I will post up, it's very interesting and very lengthy. It went state to state, so there's a lot of information. 43 states have been done, there's only a few states. 43 out of 50 states have basically tried to enact something to thwart, stop, but some are a lot more restrictive than others. And obviously, what they're doing is they're trying to take away our civil rights that we've had in America, and that all humans should have in America. It's part of our Constitution. And they are trying to make it basically really loosey-goosey about what a riot is. versus a peaceful assembly, and it's disgusting. 26 laws have been enacted, 60 are pending. There's been 196 bills to be considered in all. This is very dangerous territory. I hate to say it, but the southern states are doing it. A few other states are too, but I mean, 43 states, it's not just the southern states, but in the southern states, it's rampant. They are trying to take away our human right, the right to peacefully assemble. Very interesting. News to be noted, Senator Ron Johnson is catching criticism for trying to distance himself from the Capitol mob on Tuesday, explaining that the people in the Capitol mob were fake Trump supporters, and they were agent provocateurs. Okay, like, yeah, right. And he's very upset that people are basically laughing in his face saying, oh my God, you're full of shit. So yeah, there's that. So I guess the news of that is simply that he might not be in the White House, but he's still running it for the GOP. Another news to be noted, right? Oh, okay. Right in front of our eyes, we're watching the GOP and the media allies normalizing this entire incident, January 6th. It's really weird. We had Ron Johnson, like we just mentioned, Senator Ron Johnson saying, oh, it wasn't the white supremacists. Okay. Yeah, right. We have Tucker Carlson saying it was QAnon. We have white supremacists saying another thing. This is ridiculous. And my rant will have a lot to do with this, actually. More news to be noted. After Black and minority businesses missed out on PPP, Biden and Harris are trying to seek to remedy this. And the articles went back and forth, whether it was just people who had small businesses, but most of the Black-owned businesses were small businesses, so it will help them much more. Black leaders were happy with them trying to reconcile this. I'm sure some aren't. They want it pushed further. More news to be noted, a Texas teenager named Roddy Reese, who is a high school student, was arrested and traumatized horribly in a video that many of us saw. He was walking home in the snow from his Walmart job. He's a kid. Kids walk in the snow, you know? Yeah, I know it was freezing out, but he's a kid. That's what they do. And these police officers at first were okay, but he was terrified. And you know what? He has every freaking right to be terrified. And it's been earned. Police have earned that. And it was a horrible, horrible thing that they did to him. He was minding his own business, walking home from his job. I mean, anyway, that's news to be noted. More news to be noted. The Supreme Court denies Trump his final bid to block the release of his taxes. Let me at them. I want to know all the horrific things he's been doing and all the money he's made off the presidency. The former president's accountants will give New York prosecutors their financial records that he's been trying to shield forever. The little liar. Tonight, sorry, I'm like hyper tonight. Let me see here. Yes, T. Rogers, it is so asked about. Oh, it all is just welcome to America. Yeah. Tonight's topics I have prepared for, which do not mean they have to be the topics. I just prepared something. How white employers and coworkers shut down dealing with racism at work. What I'm trying to say is that the topic's this. I'm going to be doing a top 10 on this. I've done research. I've talked to, oh God, so many people, done interviews, but I want to know what you think. I have a top 10. What I'm talking about is ways that your white boss shuts down when something's happened to you, a microaggression here or there, or something, even larger or whatever, how they stop your voice from being heard and make sure you know that we're not going to get into that. And I'm sorry to say that is an extremely real thing. And I want to know what you think. I've met, oh God, probably hundreds of people who tell me about it. They don't know each other. This is not a conspiracy. This is real. Okay. It's when your job's on the line and your white boss is basically, hiding their clan membership under their, no, I'm sorry, I'm just saying it doesn't even have to be an overt person. If your white boss is just not very with it and has not educated themselves on a real racial history and all the gazillion little nuances that go with it, how can they help you? What are they going to do? They can't. They don't even get it. So that's a huge topic. Another one I wanted to do tonight was the extremism in the military. It's kind of an uplifting one, I think. Uplifting, I guess you could say, because somebody is, no, this isn't my rant. Sorry. I have a big intro. Sorry, Lee's like, oh my God. Sorry. I'm almost to the rant. Oh, you'll know when it's a rant. I'm just kidding. I just had a ton to talk about tonight for intro. Normally I'm very sweet. I lied. I always talk a lot. The third thing is there's the Republicans' push for anti-protest laws, which we were going to briefly talk about maybe. And then civil rights leaders are trying to pass a George Floyd Justice Act. I want to know what you think about it. I'll give you a brief rundown if you haven't read it yet. That was just today. And there's a lot of really inspirational quotes from a lot of Black leaders all over the country. I was like, dang, I had to actually cut off the list because it was getting too long. So this was a pretty cool thing. And so I will do my rant. And my rant, oh my God, was I getting nasty tonight? No. I just kind of wrote it off the cuff. So hopefully it's not too hard to follow. I think you'll get it. It's not rocket science. I think we're making politics and social issues too complicated in the United States. And that's because we're trying to respect both sides of the issue. All right. And when one side advocates treating everyone humanely with equity, equality, and respect, at least in words they do, there aren't two sides. There aren't two sides to being human. You're either humane or you're not. What could the other side be? I'll tell you what it could be. You're an asshole. I mean, if you don't want to follow basic humanism, you don't have a side. You're a jerk. I mean, there's a right. I'm sorry. There's a right and there is hate. And we are legitimizing the other side. And it's really disgusting. There is following the Constitution that says we're supposed to have liberty and justice for all. Now, of course, we have never always followed that, but we're supposed to be going in that direction. Okay? And that's where my head is, in that direction. When the other side is not going in that direction, I don't consider it a side. I consider a side the side where people are humanistic and believe that all groups are worthy of equity. The whole build a more perfect union thing. That is a side. And then there's the lying white supremacist side, whose goals are to amplify the post-truth culture by gaslighting and pushing flagrant lies about conspiracy theories to make people be cult-like and follow. And these people are completely full of shit. And I don't count them as a side. And I'm reading in the newspaper, I'm reading in articles that this is a legitimate side. And I'm sorry, I think not. There has to be some sort of hierarchy of standards. Republican, Democrat, I'm neither. I'm a human. I'm not either any of those. And humanism is where I start first. There has to be a hierarchy. There has to be some sort of shared belief in humanism and the sanctity of life. That has to be above all else. And we are so missing that in this country. You know what? Maybe we always have been. But boy, is it showing its ugly head the last 4, 5, 6 years. This should include best practices in hard science and social science. Nothing's perfect. We don't have it all figured out. But for the love of God, let's use the science that we do have figured out and not fall back to, the olden days when we just, thought gods were shifting the furniture up there, when it was an earthquake. I mean, come on, people. And you know what? The GOP right now is not even close. They aren't even close. It is a joke. The hope was that when Trump was gone, I mean, it was a hope, it was a prayer that the GOP would come to their senses. And I've done tons of these talks on what people expected and what he's going to do, and Applebaum's book, The Twilight of Democracy, and all that. But they are still freaking terrified of that man. And so they are continuing his charade. And I'm sorry, but it's gotten ridiculous. When someone asks a question that is so ludicrous to you that you're like, you know what? I'm not even going to dignify that with a response. I think politics has reached and surpassed that point. In fact, by calling what Trumpsters espouse as politics, just by even calling it politics, is already dignifying it beyond what it deserves. Rant over. So that was my rant. So you can call it now. Thanks. I just wrote like a quick little thing. So my first topic is extremism in the military. But if you want to call, I will take a quick. Is that water? Okay, I hope that's water. It should be working. And the numbers, if you need the number, just scroll right up. So extremism in the military is, we got a little bit of a nice little view. I'm saying that sarcastically, a view of what was going on with the insurrection. And there's been a lot of research and studies being done now. So we need to talk about that. And it's actually definitely in the positive direction. A lot of people are, made some very, very false equivalences to Biden and to Trump. And I get it. I do not tell Black people how to be, how to act, how to think. I just tell white people that. No, I'm just kidding. But truly, the way Biden picked some of his people, I think we're going to see something different than what Trump did. Just saying. So I will start up, and feel free to interrupt if you want to say anything, you want to make a comment, or call in. I will be very happy. So we all know that for decades, military leaders have dealt with extremists in the ranks. We've all known that homegrown white supremacists. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, is this Lee?
Hi, this is Lee. Hi.
Hi, Lee. Welcome to the show. Thanks.
Sacramento, California.
Thanks. Oh, cool. I'm from California.
Oh, okay.
Up in the snow.
I thought you were a little more northern. Your voice sounds a little bit more northern New York.
Oh my God. You know what?
Vermont.
Can I just please say I am? I lived in Southern California for 32 years, and that's all I'm saying. Yes. Southern California. I want my sunshine back.
Yeah, Northern California here.
Oh, I went to Davis.
No,
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, what I was saying was, what are you doing as a white female who's part of the dominant society by birth, who believes in your mind about racism as wrong? Why did that creep into your brain about helping those that are less fortunate? Because I've been taught by some scholars that we shouldn't trust white folks who want to denounce white supremacy because it benefits them.
Yeah, that's actually, God, great question. I've never had that particular one. So why am I doing this? What's my reason? You know what? It's a curse. No, I'll be really honest with you. I don't know. I don't know. I can't give you any definitive answer other than when I was 6 years old. When I was born, I won't give my life story. Is that your question? Basically, it's why would you trust me?
That was one of my questions.
Yeah. You shouldn't trust me. Absolutely. And most Black, brown, and indigenous people don't. And I don't blame them. We as a collective have earned that. And that's something I deal with every single day. Because when I meet a new person, they don't know me from Adam. I mean, they shouldn't trust me. We have earned that 1,000 times over. But all they can really do is watch my behavior, and it's consistent over time. And that's, I can't yell, I'm a great woke. No. Talk's cheap. We watch behavior over time. And that's all we have. And
Right.
you know what? They still might never trust me. And that is something I have to
Right.
live with. I don't blame them.
Second question.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Not at all. No, you go. I'm just blabbing a lot.
What I was going to say was I'm a fond listener and I guess you'd say radio head or YouTube head of Dr. Daly Fuller Jr. And Tariq Nasheed.
Okay.
And so I get very good, well-versed, knowledge on how the dominant society works and how racism affects Black America. I just lost my
it's okay.
topic in my head.
Take your time. We are a kickback show. Me and my 10 personalities. Take your time.
No, but basically all I was just saying was, it's just like, why is it you that has to be the one to say, oh, I'm not racist, so you should trust me? Because a lot of Black African Americans or people say, oh, I'm not racist, you should, I believe, kind of like what Dr. Nelly Fuller says, with my own eyes first. I don't care what anybody else says. I have to prove that you're not racist.
Absolutely.
You can tell me anything.
Absolutely. And plus I believe, okay, don't scream, but I include implicit bias as the lowest form of racism personally. So I think all whites are racist. Don't hate me. So I will never say, oh, I'm not racist. Somebody has to say I'm not racist. It's like saying, it's like I tell my kids, if you got to talk about how great you are, you show how great you are. You don't talk about it. That's just my philosophy.
Right.
You show it. And all white people say I'm not racist. It's like a defense mechanism. It's like, so you're never going to find, well, I mean, maybe the Ku Klux Klan type people who are really overt, like I'm racist and proud, but you'll get overt race. Nobody. According to the map of the hate groups, we got a damn lot of extremely, extremely hateful people. But if you ask them, I'm not racist. I mean, it's ridiculous. So no. The only way you can get to know who I am is me over time. And even then, you don't have to trust me.
Right.
Not at all.
No, it's funny. If I get one more thing in here.
Absolutely. As many things as you want. I'm just blabbing. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, because some people like to rush people off the phone.
I don't.
Like, one question, two, you know what I mean?
No.
So,
stay.
So if I'm talking on YouTube right now, those of us who are listening who are foundational Black Americans, I don't say ADOS because I'm a foundational. African American descendant of slavery includes everybody who is Black. Yes, we're all a part of the recipients of racism, but we are a distinct group of people. You know what I mean? It's kind of like saying there's all white people, but if you really look at it, French and English are totally different people, but they're all believe in white supremacy. But what I'm trying to say is, what I was trying to say was about the foundational deal. We're two separate entities, I believe, as far as Blacks and Africans who come over here and first generation, second generation, then they call themselves African American. Whereas my people have been here for hundreds and thousands of years already. We didn't come over on boats, in chains.
Indigenous, here. Right?
Yeah, I'm indigenous. Yeah, I am. Yeah, I have family that go back to Cherokee Indians, and I trace my lineage back all the way to South Carolina. Not in the slave fields, but I mean, not in the on the ships at all either.
Right. Absolutely, I'm aware of like that kind of heritage, and it's depending on who you're reading, what you're talking about. Yeah, absolutely. Right. There's
because there's a total difference. What I'm seeing, we should all be one, African American and, Black and all. And, because words mean something, When we say ADOS or ADOS or whatever, it's inclusive to those who are Haitian and everyone else that is a quote unquote black skin, and then us, and then they come over here on the top of us, and then we're left holding the bag because they're riding on two planes in a way, because they're riding on the black card, then they're riding on the immigrant card, whereas we don't have the immigrant card. We've been here. And so, I mean, yes, we're, like I was saying again, yes, we're black, but we are not the same. Yes, we are, genetically have, the same blood, quote unquote. But, I mean, because, you put two black people together, black baby comes out, you know what I'm saying? But when it comes to this topic that I'm talking about, two totally different cultures, two totally different sets of rules for engagement. And, we have always tried to extend our hand to that side, but whereas it hasn't really come back the other way. When they're talking about this whole, what's the red, black, and green, where you see that flag, the red, black, and green flag.
So just to clarify, just if you don't mind for a second. So are you talking about people whose ancestors were kidnapped from the edge of Africa and forced over versus people who had been indigenous to the North American continent already? Is that the difference? Okay, I just want to clarify for listeners.
That I'm talking about that, and also those that come over from other countries now.
Right.
Because they're three separate different people. So we're totally different. I mean, you guys in the room, and a lot of cultures are different.
Absolutely. Right.
And so anyway, that's all I was just.
Oh, Lee, you got a comment. Can I read? I believe this comment is to you.
Sure.
You got a comment. It's by Nails and Glitter. ADOS is American. ADOS is American descendants of slavery. Haitian and Jamaican slavery is an American slavery because they got their freedom before Americans. Well, you probably knew that, right? I don't know if that's to you or to me, and I obviously knew that too. But Nails and Glitter,
well,
you might need to call in.
It's funny they say that. Excuse my language. Oh, excuse me when I'm going to hop in here. They can reiterate. I'm going to be sound like a little dummy, but I'm going to tell them like this. Yes, they all were affected by slavery, and they all kind of got free. The Haitians got free, blah, blah, blah. They ran over here, but some of them ran over here, some of them whatever. But the problem is, say if there is a good deed done within their culture, they will label that culture, they will label that person, say like someone ran, won a race. They're going to automatically say, this is a Haitian guy, Haitian black man who won this race. They're going to put Haitian first. But we get cracked as black Americans because we want to come forth with our group first. We are foundational black Americans. And people know that when they come in contact with us because they've been warned when they come over from their countries to us, to mix in with us, stay away from the black Americans. Stay away from, not all, but there is a lot of black cultures who come from other countries who are given, quote unquote, the talk. Stay away from black Americans.
I've heard this.
Stay away from,
right. Are you talking about some of the intellectuals that come over as immigrants, actually on their own recognizance? They come over as immigrants. Is that what you mean? To study into, is that?
Yeah, they come over as immigrants, but they don't, some of them don't show allegiance to the black Americans when they come over here. They're black when it's convenient. I should say.
No, I
know.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of infighting stuff that I'm telling you about.
This is very detailed inside. Yeah, you're very interesting, and I would actually, and I'm not. I'm always looking for people who want to meet up privately and tell me what their area of passion is, and come on the show. And, set it up. I would love to have you on. I'm not trying to obligate you, but this is something that we've never discussed on our show. I mean, we've discussed a lot, like colorism.
I've seen your show before. Okay. I've laid out some pretty crazy questions to you before, and you kind of, because I've laid out some of the same questions I've asked today again, just to see where you're at.
Yeah.
But this was months and months and months and months ago.
Oh, yeah.
But that is it's pretty crazy. I mean, I believe white folks who are quote unquote trying to be allies should go within those meetings and bring back the information that, because we all know, as especially as a Black person, I've been in those meetings or in those rooms when you walk in, and then the conversation falls silent because they don't want to give any information on what's going on with whatever. Because white folks are very silent people. They're very secretive people. They're very quiet when folks of another nationality is in the room, especially Black folks, because they don't want to give up the quote unquote the game.
Lee, what meetings? I want to be clear. What meetings are you referring to that white folks kind of like should bring?
Anything. It could be about stocks. It could be about banks. It could be about how to get loans. It could be about what are people planning to do. Who are the people that need to be talked to? I mean, who are the superintendents that you can kind of fly incognito and listen to and talk to and poke them out of their hideaway den. Because these people like that need to be brought to the light, like they did with all these quote unquote Karens, people that went to the Capitol building. They have
the white supremacists.
Alaska, who was a white supremacist guy.
Yeah.
Suspected. I say suspected white supremacist. I'm going to use that term because I suspect that they are white supremacists. I use
that term. Is that bad?
Oh no, that's a good term because it doesn't label you. It's just like if I get arrested, it's on an accusation. I mean, it's on a suspected. It's not concrete until it's proven guilty. You know what I mean? So
yeah. Well, here's my take. It was really fascinating. It's a little bit of a shift, but the people who were at the insurrection, in my mind, and hate me, like me, this is just my personal opinion. The white people there were all white supremacists. You don't hang around white supremacists, and you do not protest violently with white supremacists unless you are a white supremacist. Sorry, I'm just putting it out there.
Right. And so, do you believe that an Asian person can be a white supremacist?
What's that now?
Do you believe an Asian person? Because there's a lot of different cultures there, a few different cultures there that got mixed up with the insurrection and everything. I don't say mixed up. I say they chose to be there. Do you believe that Asians and different groups that come over here to harm Black folks can be part of the white supremacy system?
I think that they can have the ideologies, absolutely, but I wouldn't call it white supremacists since they are not technically white. But how I've been taught, I have mentors, and they've schooled me in certain ways, and I've had a number of mentors, and I have always gone with best practices. But that being said, best practices shift with time and change with time, and very rapidly with the communication technology that we have. And like, for example, when I do this show, a lot of people don't realize this. I do this show not because I'm the most knowledgeable white person on the planet, not a chance in hell. Not because, I'm such a great speaker, such a great writer. Oh, please, are you kidding me? Because I want white people to see the average white person talking about racism and living through it. Because you see, white folks are terrified to talk about racism. And if we can't freaking talk about it, I don't know why, the guilt, the this, the that. They don't want people to think they're rich. Did you say, why is that? Is that what your question was? Why is that?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I'm sure it's a variety of things. I mean, it's very complicated. We are indoctrinated at birth to, white is right, right is right. And I think part of it is that, 3 out of every 4 white people in America don't have a single close friend who doesn't look just like them. So how the hell would they? It's like, I think it's a huge combination of a lot of stuff. And we as white folks need to drop our freaking egos at the door or wherever and get a grip. Our fellow humans are what are having happen, and it's been happening since the beginning, what I consider to be crimes against humanity ongoing. And I don't care if our fear or our discomfort, what the hell? It's not even, it's a moot point. Who cares?
It's pretty funny that, that you mentioned that, growing up and stuff like that. I grew up around amongst a lot of white people, going to church, different things like that. A lot of white folks. They had lots of money, very well off for generations. Families were intact, pretty much intact. You know what I mean? Mother, father, wife was at home, kids were in order, dad had the business, mom stayed home. So it's very, what people would call archaic, but it ran well. But it's funny because as growing up and as I got coming of age, and you know, they tell you, you know, hey, as you're coming of age, you know, start looking around to some of the potential mates that you may come upon within the church or what have you. And as a black person, black male, coming of age, I was a threat. And I got those threats, you know, at 18, 17, 18, 16 and 18, I got them a lot. Don't muddy up our water, please.
Wow.
You know, saying, oh yeah, this is church.
That's messed up.
Well-to-do people. I call them up right now. I haven't seen them in about 15 years. I've been kind of out of it, but you know, these people all across the United States that I know. I can call them up anytime I get ready. But
damn,
the funny thing is, watching the interaction and learning from that as a black person, to take away from that and keep my eyes open, you know, on the nuances of how white quote unquote Christians
say it again. How
interact with daily life.
How what? I'm sorry, I just missed. I couldn't hear you. How white what?
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
White Anglo Christians, you know, in church, that how they interact with different ones of other nationalities like myself. They would allow Latinos to marry their daughters, you know, fairly easy. But when it came to me, it was pretty much a hell no.
That's unbelievable.
So I had to kind of search out.
Well, the depths of racism is ridiculous. It's unbelievable.
But the thing was, it was great college for me growing up. I was great schooling because I knew how to. I can navigate my way in white society a little bit differently than those black folks who probably haven't really been around white folks.
Right.
I you know, a lot of them lived maybe 45 minutes away from me. The whole white flight, you know what I mean, kind of took place a long time ago. So they all kind of moved, and so it was my family. You know, we were the only black family around. Was I a coon or a quote-unquote? No. Was I versed in racism? No way. But as I got older, I look back and I go, hey, you know, this was racism at its finest, at its easiest to deal with. Not deal with, but easiest to point out and say, hey, this is racism. You know, and a lot of those folks, you know, you know, God is good and Jesus is great. And,
I believe hypocrites is the word. Hypocrites is the word you're using. Like that you should be using, like they're hypocrites. If your religion teaches you to be a racist piece of shit, I think you're probably doing it wrong. Just saying, you know.
but I'm not calling this a complaint. I'm just,
it's okay.
You know, reiterating, you know,
I love it. I love it.
My experiences were.
This is why I have Collins. I want to hear what people have to say. And I am thrilled that you called. I just want to make sure, clarify. I'm not sure I don't know what people see and what they don't, but I don't, and with all due respect, I don't ever, unless it's like an accident, teach Black, Brown, African-American, Indigenous people. That is not, I do not go there. What could I possibly teach a Black, Brown, or Indigenous, or somebody in mixed heritage, or an African-American person? I'm a white person. What the hell would I know? Do I know better? How would I know a lot? How would I know better than a whole lot? Well, but you know what I'm saying? How would I? It's obnoxious. It's arrogant. I would never. This. But
I think it's arrogant in a way to deny the fact that you don't know, because the number one rule of white society is to deny. You know, and placate. I mean, I should make this wrong.
I think you're misunderstanding.
As though you don't see it, or to say I do see it, but I don't know what to do about it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no, it's arrogant and it's arrogant and ignorant, right? And what I'm trying to say, and I want to make just to clarify, is that is so far out of my lane. I have a lot of Black, Brown, Indigenous, and African American people and people of mixed heritage that watch for various reasons, but everybody who knows me follows me or whatever knows I am not here to teach them. They are here to teach me, if anything. Okay. I do not. And if they learn something, sure, maybe, hidden history, whatever, that's fine. But I'm here to educate the white people. That is my place. And
Right.
I know my place. And I'm pretty.
It's funny you say that. You're here to teach the white people, because so many times I run a service company here in the northern states, and so I get to tap into white society on a daily basis.
Lucky you.
More so than I would like, but I get to ask questions. They ask me because I'm a 6'4", 300-pound guy. Not a whole lot of fat, walking into your door, and they kind of look at me like, well, "Where's your boss?" I've gotten that.
Oh, I have a friend dealing with that right now. My friend Jordan. I've done a number of interviews with him. He's going through living hell. He goes into people's houses. Anyway, another subject. Go ahead. Tell me more.
Yeah. But my thing is what should we know about white society? What are some of the conversations that go on that we need to know about? Because we lived amongst you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We live in your homes. We fed your kids. With the teeth of our own women.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Men were raped.
Oh God, absolutely.
I'm not saying that you know this stuff, but I'm just saying, what is it that white society is holding back information that Black folks can't get because we're in the room, whereas you can be incognito, be quiet, and listen to the hypocrisy that goes on, and let us know.
Yeah, you know what? That's a great question. That is a I think what you're asking is, and I've been asked this before. So people have asked me, like, why do they do it? What's their deal? Okay, I'm just going to be really blunt about it. I have no fucking clue. Because you see, I've been like this for so long that I've lost every single white friend that would ever, and anybody. The only time I got really close to it was when because everybody who knows me, they either are with me or I am privileged. I don't have racist friends that are like overtly racist. I have friends that are white that want to learn and are on the anti-racism continuum like me, but I don't have, because overtly, like they're proud of it and they're going to actually talk to me about it. No one's ever, I have never heard. Isn't that weird? So people ask me this. I don't know, maybe because I was so young, or when I was noticing this and upset about this, and I saw racism when I was 6, I didn't know what it was. I was like, what the hell's going on here? Why are all the adults acting so weird? They're acting like there's no problem. It was really strange. And I grew up, I finally figured it out when I was like 12 or 14. I kind of started reading and caught on. And then I went to college and I majored in, ethnic studies basically. And, that's what they called it at the time. I'm very old. And so I haven't been around people who are like that. The only time like people ask me, nobody I know would dare ever say, like, they are so they like keep it away from me. They, you know what I'm saying? Kind of. Also, my family's mixed. So, yeah. I mean, it has been.
No, I have a lot of family that look like you.
Yeah. And I probably have a lot of family that look like you. Right. So it is unbelievable. They aren't stupid. They know who to like. So I haven't been in the mix. I don't know. I wish I did. The closest I ever came was when I went to that Trump rally. And it was the weirdest thing because I was going to tell them right up front, I'm extremely, da-da-da. And then I kind of kept my mouth shut and they said, oh, come on over. You want to be, they thought I was like one of them. And it was the first time I was like, oh my God, they look at me as one of them. That's the first time I ever thought about that. And I was like, should I say something? I'm like, maybe not. So I can get a better interview. And then when I left before I asked any questions about, people who had more active melanin in their skin, because they were going to kill me. I mean, the guy said, I have a gun. It was a terrible thing. But I didn't get to ask my big questions. But that was my first, at this age, it was only like 6, 7, 8 years ago. Or it was actually, no, this was like 6. Yeah, this is like sort of 5.5 years ago. I realized they look at me as like one of theirs, and that freaked me out. But so I can't answer your question.
Are you aware of the person named John Brown?
Absolutely. He's
Okay.
one of my heroes. He's a hero to me.
They label him as deranged and
he's a hero to me.
Crazy, you know.
He's a hero.
What's that?
He's a hero to me.
Right. You know, he went against white supremacy and did. Supplied Africans with Americans with ammo and raids. But they labeled him as crazy, and it's funny.
Well, of course they did.
That they do that to white folks. Mm-hmm. When they go against white supremacy, they'll label him as crazy, which is my terminology is great.
I get everything. You should see what I get. I hope a black man rapes you. That's what I get a lot. It's like, shut up, whatever, Well, I mean, I get that kind of shit.
That's all they think about. That's really crazy. It's stupid. That's all they think about because
that's I'm like, that's what white people do. Just kidding.
Black folks don't sit around there and talk about people like that. You know what I mean? And they label John Brown as crazy, but in real terms, he was trying to do something that was, monumental and historical. That was being, like I was saying, replacing a system of injustice with a system of justice.
He was trying to act human, is what he was trying to do. Act human.
Exactly. So they call that crazy because you're acting human.
Well, people always label you, this, that, and the other. Yeah. That's what I say to white folks. I say, look, I have a whole bunch of that guy. I'm like blown, like mind equals blown. Just that is an abolitionist. A lot of the other abolitionists weren't real white abolitionists. They weren't real. Some of them were, but they weren't real abolitionists. I call a real abolitionist somebody who says, over my dead body, am I going to stand here and watch this happen and let this happen to my fellow humans? And that's what he did. And he's like, I don't know if he's a perfect person, but he sure as hell has I'm in awe of what he did. I'm in awe of what he did.
But yeah, I would, I got to get off of here a little bit here, but I would like to ask one more thing.
Sure.
What do we do about the insurrection style people within the coming years? What do you think should be done to them?
Okay, this is going to be probably off base. I like your questions. It's really, this might be off base, but we need to have a mental health care system in this country, and we don't. It's pathetic. It's for profit. So treating people with mental illness is not profitable, so we don't have it. Unless you're wealthy or fairly well-to-do, or you really are having intermittent problems and you're not having serious mental health. These people have been indoctrinated. Okay, they've been indoctrinated. They've lost their freaking minds. Sorry, I'm just saying it. And there is nobody there to help them. Their children, people who love them, are desperate. Go on Reddit. There's thousands of people saying, "Oh my God, what do I do? How do I?" And these people need help. They need deep programming. They need, it's really bad.
I don't think you can ever cure white supremacists, though.
I
listen to those that quote unquote reform white supremacists, and it's just, I still would be scared to sit in a room with them.
Well, how about like Dixon White? Do you follow Dixon White? Do you know who that is?
No, I don't.
He's a friend of mine. He's a very popular guy, and he's a former, I wouldn't want to sit in a room with overt people, but in my mind, like I said, I believe, and this is just I'm not adamant, I don't push it on people, but I truly believe that we are indoctrinated at birth, and anybody, who has, done that and is white has implicit bias. And I have a whole tape on it that I did explaining how I got my implicit bias. I remember getting it. I remember I've seen people change. I cannot tell you what's in someone's heart. I cannot measure it, but I've seen incredible change over a very long period of time. It's an incredibly steep learning curve. We're indoctrinated. You have to basically say, my mom, my dad, my grandma, everyone I've ever been around is wrong and taught me wrong and was racist. And who's going to admit that?
Yeah.
So it's like,
I don't believe going to a civil rights museum is going to cure these people either.
hell no.
You know what I mean?
Oh God, no.
Because they do that to our law enforcement, you know, when they quote unquote beat a black person or kill one, and
That's
they,
ridiculous.
let's go down to let's have some
That's a joke.
civil rights therapy, and
That's a joke.
you know, these folks, they burn at the stake and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
But
no,
you
it's
know, and then they go right back to their job. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh no. Oh God. That's yeah. It's no. It's a process over time. You have to digest it. You are reinventing the essence of your being and your understanding of the world. It's a lifelong process, Lee. We'll never get there, but it doesn't mean we shouldn't try.
And that's the funny thing is that's where I don't really care.
Uh-huh.
That's just where I want my reparations from where my family has been.
Yeah, yeah.
People say, "Oh, that's a handout. That's a handout. That's a handout." No, it's not, because the Japanese, the Chinese, through all this pandemic and everything, and all, hey, they got their little trillions. You know, you know, we have this thing that's in California right now. Well, the courts right now with the whole HR 40, and that's the whole thing. That big deal of tone talks and Yvette Carnell. They're a bunch of lousy people, and I'm gonna say that publicly because that was just a talk. It's a talk, and they have Herschel Walker up there, who's an idiot, who's a buffoon. And they found these people on the rocks, you know, and they know who to put up there to divert the real message that needs to be put. Where's the money?
It's ridiculous.
You know, where's our portion that we've done for our country here? We've been here. We've fought in every war. We've done everything.
Absolutely.
We've been to the hoses. We've been to the dogs. You know, that's the thing that you need to get the white people who are prominent. Maybe you should try to reach out to some of those folks, get them on to talk, but never mention their name, so that and then have them be incognito, so that they can speak their mind. Say, hey, look, we'll let you speak your mind, but will you be willing to field questions about this, about that, and just, you know, just have them be incognito. Are you talking about
the overtly racist people? Are you referring to the overtly racist people or the white? I'm confused.
I'm just talking about. It could be overtly racist people. It could be your librarian. It could be your fireman. It could be your police officer. It could be your nurse. You know what I mean? It could be everyday persons of white or who believe in white society, pure white society, and stuff like that.
I'd love to have a white supremacist on.
That are under the cloak. Under the cloak of democratic rule, because there's a lot of democratic rule that gets set aside when it comes to voting, stuff like that. Say, oh, you're Republican, so you're against this, you're doing this, you're that. I don't vote any of this. But what I'm just saying is, there's lots of white folks that fall under all branches of that, Democrat and Republican. Just because you're Democrat does not mean you're racist. You know, so that's what I had to.
Yeah, no, I appreciate your point of view, and
Democrat.
Yeah, I was never into politics until Trump brought it into. Obviously, I was always into the social issues and not the actual politics side. But because Trump brought it into that, I had to kind of learn and figure it out. But here's the thing: we're talking a lot of stuff here, and it's all extremely interesting. I value your opinion. I don't value your opinion because it's what I think.
You have my number. It's right there. Hopefully,
I do.
You know, hopefully we could do some video chat or something like that, so you can see who I am. And it's very, you know, I like to talk to white folks, so I can kind of gather information. You know what I mean?
Well,
and listen.
If you want to get a hold of me, because I don't have any information on the people who are from YouTube. I don't think. I'm really bad technologically. I have my. You can get a hold of me here, and I'd be more than happy to. You're very interesting. I do not think I've talked to one person who is Black or Indigenous or African American that has the same opinion, and that is called being human. We all have our, you know.
Right.
I just know who I am, and I will be learning and growing until my last breath. It's something I'm dedicated to. It's a lifestyle. It's not something I need credit for. It's called acting like a freaking human. And I am extremely shy person. But it's not about me. So I got my ass on here, and I'm trying to do something.
I'm married with 2 kids, so I totally get where you're coming from.
Yeah. I wasn't going to sit and watch. So I just thought, you know what? If a one white person sees me talking and says, oh, wow, who's that lady talking? Wow. And she lived through it, then I've done my job, because I truly believe it is way past time for white America to take some freaking racial responsibility and step up to the plate and stop all this insanity, absolute insanity. So that's kind of my thing.
Well, have a wonderful evening. I'm going to step out of here.
Okay, I know you got to go. You're probably like, what are you doing? But please get a hold of me if you want to. I would love it. Love to have you on. You're very interesting.
Okay.
Thank you.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye. Sorry to keep you so long. Bye.
No, that's okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye. You guys know I like to talk. I have a little bit of a confession to make here. There's a cat meowing, and it might need to come onto the show. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to ignore people. I could not follow the conversation going. I am just like a disabled person, but I'm your disabled person. So I know Nails and Glitter, you're having a conversation. I wasn't sure if you were talking to this guy or whatever, but Lee's great. I am interesting, very interesting. So anybody else want to call in, or I can keep blabbing? Give him his toy. You know what? He doesn't. He's waiting by the door. His toy, right? Give him his toy. Actually, I'm gonna nothing. No animal abuse. He stopped meowing. I don't know what he's doing. Anyway, that was great having him call in. You're always welcome to call in. Pat, you give him his toy. I'm scared of him. I just get someone to take him. But anyway, so I'm gonna get back to, unless anybody has anything to jump in, I'm gonna get back to this military stuff, because I'm hoping for good things. I am really, really waiting and watching, and I want to know what's going on. That's what I was going to tell Lee, is he should watch one of my 900 videos if he wants to know who I am. I mean, I'm pretty open about it. I'm like screaming in the camera, like I have so many rants. So it's pretty easy to tell who I am. I think it is, because I'm consistent, because I'm not faking it. So if I had to lie and make up shit, I would have to memorize all that stuff. And I'm a total airhead. My mind's everywhere. But let me just jump into this. And so everybody knows that a lot of military people are like, guns, yay, and just like police, we're giving a gun to somebody who could be racist as fuck. That's pretty terrifying. And we're saying, here, have a gun, and whatever you do, we're okay with it, because you're called military, you're called police. That's scary shit. So and we've all known for a very, very long time that homegrown terrorists are the number one. White people, homegrown terrorists, white are the number one threat. They've killed more people than any religious, give me a break. It's all very obvious, but we live in a society of white supremacy, so of course we won't admit it, because we're continuously full of shit. And that is what I can't stand. I can't stand gaslighting. It enrages me. Okay, I'm sure it does you too, but something about it. I could tell you, I'll lie on the couch and tell you why, but not now. So, we've had, let me see, what do we got going here? Senior officers have been, they claim that it's a tiny fraction of the 2 million men and women in the uniform. And we know that's not true, because there's not a tiny fraction in the regular population. It's a pretty damn big fraction. You call 74 million people following Trump to be a tiny fraction? I think not. So why in the world would it be a tiny fraction in the military? Sorry. Okay, excuse me. Cat's going out. Gently and sweetly. 1 second. All right, out you go, you little barman. Out you go. Don't let the door hit you in the tail. Okay. Ducking down. Okay. Sorry about that. The cat has left the premises, and he'll try to come back. He's actually pretty adorable. I won't get into it. I barely like cats. Okay. But yeah, history's proven otherwise. And I'm sorry. There's no way in hell that a military population versus the regular population, we're so racist in the regular population. Oh yes, but people in the military, they go in because they're not. No. So yes, it's a problem, and we are finding out finally, because we have someone in place that's actually into it. There are a number of other concerns as well, other than just the people in the military, who are basically white supremacists with guns. And I'm not saying every one of them. And I know there are laws and rules that are very strict against it, but let's be real. Our military is not in a vacuum. It's under the guise of America. And America's racist as fuck. So what do you have? You have a military that absolutely has to be, because there's no separating it. Sure, they might not show it overtly, or maybe they will. I don't know, but they'll follow the rules. But you don't know what's in someone's heart, but you kind of do. So I'll go on here. So apparently, a caller. Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Well,
Angry soccer mom.
Welcome.
I finally get through. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Do I get to know who you are or not? Or you don't have to say?
No. I will. My name is Pelej. It's pretty hilarious. How you try to, I'm not trying to troll or anything like that. How you try to pronounce my name before. So I thought you should.
I butchered it.
Go ahead.
Did I butcher it? Is that what I did?
I mean, yeah, it's okay. A lot of people call me Pledge. I have to apologize again for thinking that you were just like only screening people that to call or things like that. No. I know there were several people try to call in a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, they couldn't get through.
Yeah, they couldn't get through.
Yeah, no, I want everybody to call. Everybody.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. First of all, I'm gonna try to be very, conscientious of people's time, and I like what you're doing. I like your work, and I think it's really cool. And I believe that I'll tell you a little bit about myself.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously I'm from Haiti, I'm from Haiti. I'm Black.
Cool.
And the last gentleman that you spoke through, he's definitely a very knowledgeable gentleman. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to micro, pick apart everything people are saying.
You're okay. I want to know what you think. You're okay. I want to know.
The thing is, though, I think the problem is that, I don't know how to say this.
He was very set in his ways. He's very set.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, and I understand.
Right. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Yeah, well, no, I want to hear you, but I was just trying to help. He absolutely had very set ways, and he was very upfront about them. And I absolutely know not everybody feels that way. And I'm sure some people are like,
absolutely.
What?
Absolutely. No.
Natural.
No, go ahead. Keep talking. I'm listening. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. I won't. But anyway, tell me you can tell me what you thought about him. I'm perfectly fine with it. And from the little knowledge we have of him, because we just met him kind of.
No, I don't have any issues with him. I just feel like, sometimes when we talk about different things, about different cultures, us, like Black is Black. I mean, the thing is though, my thing is though, the uniform of Black people is our color of our skin. It doesn't matter if you're from Africa or Jamaica or Haiti. Yes, Haiti gained its independence from France. I mean, Haiti, like Black people globally are not free. I mean, they're not, like white supremacy. This is, the guy who you talked to last, he was very smart. Mm-hmm. And there's a few things, if I knew him, I would probably counsel and talk to him mm-hmm. about certain things, that we could polish. But, mm-hmm. White supremacy is everywhere. But I do believe that there are a lot of white people who want to do good. And, funny people I sound like a bigot, white, Black people can't be a racist, by the way. I don't know. I don't know if you know that, because
they do.
You can't.
It's a power differential, and we don't have they don't have the power for it. Yeah, no, of course I do. Yeah. It's
exactly.
Systemic racism is based on power, and we have the power. So how could,
Good.
It's ridiculous.
See,
yeah.
You are smart, articulate white woman. You are.
What?
Most people.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No. Go ahead. I'm listening.
No, it's just I learn something every day. I've been doing this for a very, very. I'm kind of old, doing it for a long time. I've had some incredibly wonderful mentors over the years. I've run groups. I worked when I was very, very young. I was a school teacher. My first job, I worked in, lucky me, the LA riots. I worked in Compton, California during the LA riots. And
oh, wow.
So that was like my first experience. And I went to school for multiculturalism as a young, undergrad.
Right.
And so,
Right.
so I'm just always learning, and this is what I want to do, is try to make a difference somehow,
Right.
That's it.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. And I believe, I know you guys touched up on John Brown, to me, John Brown, I don't know much about John Brown.
I have a video on him.
I know that
he's amazing. I have a video on him.
Yeah. No, for sure. No, I've watched, again, I'm not like you hardcore, like followers, Angry Soccer Mom, but when you post something that I do see, I take the time and watch it sometimes.
Yeah.
And
so you've seen a few of my videos, maybe, or something like that, right?
What's that?
You've seen a few of my videos, maybe, or something.
Oh, no, I have, and I saw you interview Johnny Dixon and Dixon White.
Oh, Dixon White. Oh, yeah, my Dixon White one. And
it's because the thing is, asking him.
Dixon's awesome.
About
I'm calling for the cat. I'm calling for the cat.
No,
Keep going.
It's fine.
Somebody got to get this cat.
Okay.
Sorry.
So Dixon White, who, he was doing a live about, I would say 3 weeks ago, and I've asked him, obviously, the Tuskegee experiment, to me, here's the thing. I'm sick and tired of America, the powers that be, the people who's in power blaming the Ku Klux Klan and blaming the Proud Boys. Those people are not in power.
No.
It's the people you can't see that's in power. Hear me out, okay?
I agree with you.
To me, coming from, the Tuskegee experiment,
mm-hmm.
Why would Black people should take the COVID vaccine? You have people, oh yeah, I should take it, but reparations. The Jewish people have reparation, and it's the thing of no, let's take the vaccine. It's a patriotic thing to do, but why aren't you giving reparation? But for me, if I were to advise the Black community globally, I would say do not take that, because unless for me, if you really want to go back to Haiti. This is where I have problems with the ADOS, all those people. We are one people, Black people, because it doesn't matter. We got our independence. By the way, we're the third country. We're not the first country in the Western Hemisphere. We're getting our independence.
Mm-hmm.
You can Google, if you Pelanca, Colombia, and then there's a place in Brazil. It's like 15 something. I'm proud to say all those things. Haiti is the first this. I've been lied to, but
so I think let me just. I hate to interrupt you. I think what I'm hearing you saying, and tell me if I'm wrong, is that from a white perspective, you're all one people, because white people don't go, well, you're this. They just, you're all Black people to white people,
mm-hmm.
and that's the dominant group, and so. You're saying that you are not as into differentiating, and part of the reason, and I'm just gonna speak up, from what I know of, and I'm not speaking for Lee. I don't know him. I've just met him on the phone. But part of the thing is, as you know, many of the Black people who were brought over and who were here were enslaved, and when they were enslaved for that many centuries, and not just enslaved, they were tortured and traumatized and brutalized and all that. And
absolutely.
So over that many, and then when there was finally some way to become free, we just kept doing it, but in a different form. And
Exactly.
there were so many laws we made promises that we did not keep, and we also
Exactly.
did things like redlining and sundown towns and just, oh my God, the list goes on and on,
Yes.
that made it so those people were absolutely
Right.
kept from accumulating generational wealth. So they're in a special category, unlike maybe, so I could see where they think, well, they don't want to be put in with everybody. So it's a very complex social science thing.
I understand.
It's
But I
complicated.
just think, though, go ahead.
No, that's it. That's it. It's complicated.
Well, I mean, I think if I was talking to a Black person, I would just say, listen, what white people globally, I don't care, like with Russia, with even like China and India, the people in India who's blacker than me, some of them are like more racist than like you average European. For an example, like, I don't know if you know about Mahatma Gandhi. He's a racist. He's a bigot. Like a bigot. I don't care what people say. If you do your research, I mean, he got his wake-up call in South Africa, when, like every white person that I've seen, for example, they saw somebody who's from like, who's from India, who's, they view them as Black. But for me, here's what I'm trying to say. If I was a, white man, a European man, a white man in general, I want to conquer, I want to do this, I want to do that. For me, like, Black people are the easiest people to control by far. We are,
Why?
Because we are. I'm gonna tell you a few things. First of all, when people are talking about, oh my gosh, look at Chicago, look at Detroit, look at this, look at all those thugs, look at all those. Here's my thing. Okay, let's unpack this. English soccer mom, let's unpack this.
Why are they easy to control? Because
well, let me answer that. Okay, first of all, the trauma that we suffered, the brainwashing, the murdering, and the raping,
Yes,
all those things, all those trauma, Black people, like in the Caribbean and America, we more like not, we don't think African. We're more like, we think like toward like European, because we were made the way we were made to like really like hate each other, argue with each other, and like not respect each other, because like right now it's very easy to control Black people. So
by putting them against each other, is that kind of what you mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Well, that's
right now.
yeah. That's always been a technique.
Absolutely. It's working. And for me,
yeah.
I know I was trying to tell you a little bit about myself. We got all excited talking about 50 billion different things.
That's okay.
But yeah, from Haiti, and I live actually in Ohio. It's a long story. I came over in a boat in 1992. You and I are probably close to the same age. I'm 42 years old. And,
yeah, that's it. We are. We're not.
Yeah.
I'm much older than you.
So
good call.
But anyhow, no, that's fine. But no, here's the thing. I made a choice, a decision at a really young age. I was living here without my parents, but the people that I was living with, they wanted to go back to Florida. A light bulb kept, flashing into my head and saying, hey, I want to stay here in Ohio. And then so what was crazy? So at 14, the people went back and said, hey, 13, 14, or what have you. Let's just say 14. And they went back to Florida. And I stayed with this guy with his family. And he was a translator for me. And then I stayed on his couch, and then I ended up contacting Children's Services. And and so he said, hey, where do you want to live? And it was just really crazy, though. I couldn't speak English. And I said, hey, I want to live with a white family. I want to learn about the American culture. And and honest, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just laughing. You poor thing.
No.
It's okay?
I mean, let me tell you something,
Yeah.
Angry Soccer Mom. Like,
Okay.
I'm actually glad I did that.
Okay.
It was the best thing I ever
Good.
did. I'm going to tell you why.
I'm so glad.
No, because I know I did that. Because one is it helps me to understand, white people. It really helped me out a lot, actually. And
Well, that's good. 'Cause I still
I
am
am
waiting to
not
understand them.
Go ahead.
I'm still waiting to understand them.
Well, no. That doesn't mean that. No, what I meant by that is like to understand the culture, to understand the psychology and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad I did that decision. I made that decision, and I've learned a lot. And it's hard for a white person to admit their privileges. Some of them don't understand, their privileges, and so it's like I said, it's hard.
Yeah.
But so we'll go back to the first caller that I don't know how many callers you had. I just hop on you.
That was my first caller. That was my first caller.
Okay,
Lee.
Your first caller. So he, like for example, though, America owes France, obviously too. America owes Haiti reparations. But not only that, they owe Haiti their gold. Like in 1915, America came over and stole Haiti's gold.
We did.
I mean, they did, and
we've done some bad things. I understand.
I mean, the thing is though, when somebody, let's just say that next week you saw a video of me, like this guy named Pelej, like robbed the grocery store. Oh, lock him up, or like hang him. If they give me time to talk or something like that, I would say like, but what about my gold, you guys? What about my trillions of dollars you guys have here?
Yeah.
Like for me, we're so quick to vilify other countries.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
For example, culture. Yeah, culture.
Oh, it's the American way.
Right. Oh, Putin, he's this, he's that. Oh, Fidel Castro. I mean, oh my goodness.
But then we don't look at what we're doing.
Exactly. So, and that's the thing, though. But like I said, my thing is, America, I guess maybe it was always there like that because social media hasn't exposed it though, but America is in a decline. And America, I'm not praying, but based on what I'm seeing in Greece Soccer Mom, America is gonna fall. When it does, people are gonna say like, what happened?
The uneducated people will. The uneducated people will. I think if you are awakened and with us, not you personally, but that's all I talk about is the decline of the twilight of our democracy and whatnot. So I talk about that continuously on our show, on my videos, and so most people. I mean, and I'm not just. It's not my idea. It's a lot of people are talking about it. It just depends if you are trying to learn from others who are experts in listening, then a lot of people should know. Unfortunately, we have a lot of ignorant people and stuff. So that's a really toughie. So make your last point. Tell me what your last point is, because I want to hear.
Yes. Well, listen. Well, first off, thank you for picking up my phone call.
Absolutely.
And, if we try, I believe. I mean, I just believe that if we try to make changes to society, and if we try, because we have to lead by example, and because like right now America's image is forever damaged, and I don't know how you get back from that with the
it might be too late
riots and stuff like that.
It might be too late. It might be too late.
Yes, absolutely. But listen, I have a lot to say in Great Soccer Mom, but I believe maybe I could always try to find you and email you if I need to.
Well, you know what? How you get a hold of me? Boop, right there. If you're on Facebook, I have a group that I've been able to maintain even though I got kicked off for life. I just put it on there. So you can personal message me there anytime. I would love it.
Okay, I will do that. But there's a few other things that I wanted to like talk to you about the two, like some. I mean, but you know, like I just didn't want. I mean, I know there's other people who want to call probably, and I'm getting tired.
You know what? I come on Sundays. I do a 3 to 5 on Sunday. I do a free stream. Come on there and say hi. I mean, sometimes there's a few people on, sometimes there's a bunch. Not really, you know. So
sure.
Yeah,
I mean, like like I said though, you could probably help me with sticking some answers and personally because like I haven't unpacked everything about myself.
Hey, you know what? We're all projects. Our journey is in constant motion and changing, and I plan to learn till the day I take my last breath.
Well, that's good. But hey, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm sorry that I judged you. Okay, about not being able to get through to you.
You know, I'm terrible with technology, and you know what? You're so adorable because you're like so honest. I would have felt the same way. I just know I take anybody. I really am a very, very like open, like I really have never been like a liar or deceptive. I don't want to deceive anybody. Right. I just have like no knowledge of technology. Like somebody said, oh, they couldn't get through. Then my friend Pat called and he got through easily. And he's like, I got through. And I'm like, oh shit.
Right.
I'm not worthy.
You know what though? You know what though, Angry Soccer Mom, if you were doing something, like I think you should have like at least like 2 to 3 million, followers on YouTube, but you trying to dismantle something, obviously it's not always the popular thing to do.
Right.
But know that a few of us, like a few thousands that you have or whatever, it could be 2, 3 people. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. I apologize for talking too long. And I was
not at all. You're fine. So. You were fine. I'm actually really happy to meet you. So definitely get a hold of me.
Nice talking. I will do that. Nice talking to you. Thank you so much.
You too. You're really special. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
So you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. This is so exciting. I'm having like a really exciting night, meeting new people, and it's exactly what I want. I want to hear what people think. And no one's a monolith. You don't have to agree with Lee. You didn't have to agree with that man. And he was so honest. He thought I was trying to screen calls. I wish I could screen calls. I can't even get calls through. It's like, I can't be screening if I can't even get calls. So no. Nothing sneaky. I'm really, I know, Pat, that's what made me happy when you called the other day. And like, I got through an internet, or you got through twice. I was like, yes. Oh, I would never. That's so funny. Uh-oh. This is all calls. Hello. Welcome to the show.
Hey, I'm the soccer mom. How are you doing, man? This is
Dave. Hello. Thank you for calling in. What's going on, my sweet friend?
Not much. Just here in New Mexico, enjoying not enjoying the damn snow. It's freezing.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. But anyway.
What's going on, my friend?
So, how you been, man? I haven't been, listening to the show because I've been trying to figure out myself. New situation from Florida.
I know.
Thank God New Mexico is a blue state.
Doing okay. You know what, Dave? I actually have Sunday drop-in hours basically where I just hang out, and I'm meeting so many cool people. It's very exciting for me. I don't have any agenda. I just kind of hang out and do research, and somebody comes on. It's awesome. So and I'm starting a new book club, and I can't wait to do it. It's actually this book is not, it's like it's beginner, but not really. I mean, it's beginner is a relative term. Depends how bad off you are. But
quick thing, quick thing in New Mexico, we have a governor here who is doing a damn good job in terms of getting people vaccinated for COVID. It's just running a tight ship, and Republicans shitting bricks because they don't know how to mess this governor up. Compared to Florida, where we'll have DeSantis. And, I don't know if you heard about what DeSantis did, where there's all the special people from special zip codes who contributed re-election.
He's awful. He's really a very bad man, honestly.
Yeah. And thank God I left Florida.
You glad you're out of there?
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. New fresh start. One thing New Mexico lacking is a beach, but hey, California is 400 miles away. I can just jump in a car, jet to California or something. Or Arizona, I don't know. Whoever have a beach.
You just want a beach. I gotcha.
Mm-hmm,
I'm glad you're doing really well.
Yes.
Makes me happy.
And my show, we're just working on the kinks, before we'll make our debut. So I'll give you the information so you could tell your listeners.
Yeah, I'll definitely plug you. Tell everyone to come by, and we'll put it right on there. I'll put it out there for you. I'd be happy to do that. So what say you?
We're on Facebook, Kitchen Politics 123 on Facebook.
Yeah, Kitchen Politics. Is that? Wait, here, let me see. People can see. Yeah, there we go. He's up there with Kitchen Politics 123. Very nice. And
yeah, man.
So what say you? Do you have any comments tonight about all this stuff, or you just want to say hi? And
no, I just want to say hi and just continue listening and tell you that you do a great job.
Thank you.
Hopefully it's explode in 2021 with a lot of listeners, a lot of callers, because it's a really important show that you do.
Thank you so much. You've been wonderfully supportive, and I'm so happy you're finally in a good place. Boy, there's a lot of racism in Florida. Florida's a nightmare. Pat, will you? Pat lives there, so he could probably attest to this. Well, thank you for calling in. It's good to hear your voice. All right.
All right, Bob.
Take care.
All right, bye.
Bye, my friend. Sweet. Oh, he hung up. All right. Poor Pat's like, ah. Yes, I know. Yeah, David used to live in Florida, and he had to get out of there. It was just too much. But I'm glad he's doing a lot better. So where were we? I have so much cool stuff to get to. I want to kind of keep going, and anyone who calls is absolutely fine. So here's what's going on with this military. This is the dirty South. You know what? I never really realized it was the South. Like, I always thought, Florida, what? But I was in California, so kind of far away. And the more I hear about Florida, not so pretty. But I'm so sorry. This nation, oh my God, we're a nightmare. So here's what's going on with this, the Capitol stuff. Let me find, it's a little bit more than just having military people. No, it's not. Tell me more. No, it's not. I'm losing my mind here. But it's more than just that. The GOP is gaslighting about the Capitol riot. And as recently as today, Trump's allies claimed the coup and QAnon never happened. I mean, this is a joke. So today, a large cause for alarm are the Republican members of Congress who proudly embrace this extremism overtly, despite Trump not even being in office. It should be also pointed out that there is a silent majority saying nothing and doing nothing. It's not. Okay, gotcha. And no, it's not. It's not a good place. Right. Yeah. Thanks, Pat. I just wasn't sure. I lost my train of thought. But also referring to the GOP members who do not express themselves racist, in the racist manner directly, but refuse to stand up, which in my eyes is pretty much they support them 100%. Like I always say, it's not the extreme people who are, really proud of their white supremacy. It's the thousands and thousands and millions of people who aren't extreme, but who do nothing and allow it. They condone it. Doesn't bother them much. It doesn't bother them enough to give a shit and do something. Those are the people who are at the problem. And there's a hell of a lot of them. And they're not paying attention for many, many reasons. But there's no excuse. And, to be honest, if anybody follows history closely, your rights, your lack of rights are mine are right behind, and it's true. It really is true. So white folks just don't get it. I don't get it. But anyway, so it's not all of a loss. After examining the makeup of the Capitol insurgency on January 6th and what happened, thanks specifically, I got to give credit where credit's due, to Biden's cabinet pick, it appears that there's going to be an investigation. And like it should have happened forever ago. A few weeks ago, the new administration's defense secretary ordered a 60-day stand down to confront extremism in the military. Lloyd Austin, who is this retired 4-star Army general, was confirmed to the Senate in January, and making him the first Black defense secretary in U.S. history. So here's what happened, and this is actually good news, in that he's going to do something. This is the first time in my lifetime that I've heard of this happening. Information comes from the January 6th riot, terrorism, white supremacist terrorism, proved to be extensive. And the retired military participants in the deadly insurrection, I mean, it was more than just a few. This information has forced military leaders to confront the threat of domestic terrorism by these people that included current and former service members. According to the National Public Radio, military veterans accounted for 15% of those who were criminally charged at the Capitol riots. 15%. So we're talking, damn, 15%. Additionally, some of the rioters were holding Marine Corps flags. I mean, others dressed as soldiers. Well, at least one, so far as this report, was a member of a far-right group. There's a bunch of people who were from the Proud Boys, and one of the Proud Boys was a person who did 2 tours of Iraq in the 82nd Airborne Division. So we got our military people indoctrinated into these things, and therefore our military. So historically, data has shown a link between military experience and the right-wing extremism. They prize these people to get them in the circle because they're military. They know stuff. So what is the Biden administration going to do about this threat? Well, that's the good news. Defense Secretary Austin has ordered a military-wide one-day stand-down to determine the extent of this extreme behavior, and he believes it is very real, and that there needs to be some serious work regarding screening people and weeding out people who are not supposed to be there because they hold racist ideologies and extremism, white supremacist ideologies. I know a couple weeks back there was a problem in the Navy. It revealed that there was a separate incident. I guess there was 2 separate incidences where symbols of hate were left anonymously aboard 2 ships. One instance was an African-American sailor found a noose next to his rack. In another, there was graffiti in the bathroom wall that said Nazi life. Military leaders are trying to gather statistics from service members that would shed light on this issue, including how many military members, how they're being disciplined, how many are being kicked out, how many recruits are coming in with military ties. Oop. Hello. Welcome.
Hello?
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going great. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, so I just wanted to touch on a couple of things. The thing you were just talking about within investigating people that are in these extremist groups that were involved with the Capitol riot. I just want to say I find it kind of appalling that they would sit there and wait until the insurrection pretty much happened, or what would have been a complete insurrection would have happened on January 6th. That now they want to investigate these far-right people and these extremists, and then they're saying that, like you said, statistically speaking, I think you said 15% of the people that were involved were of military background.
That's what they're saying.
I just think that's absolutely ridiculous that they would wait for something like that to happen to start studying this and trying to do something about it and so on. It's like the government knows about these people. Like, think about it. If you get pulled over by a cop, within a minute or so, they can pull up everything about your life pretty much that they want to. And then it's like, oh, well, in the 2nd grade or whatever, you did this or that. Or when you were 18 years old, you had a DUI or whatever.
Right.
I find it kind of strange that now all of a sudden they're doing studies on this and that and looking into legislators and everybody else who was involved with that Capitol riot. So I think this is only the beginning of all this, but I just find
absolutely.
it absolutely ridiculous that this is the turning point. This is why the government is now looking into these extremists and so on.
Well,
You know?
one thing, yeah. Well, I mean, Lloyd Austin is an African American man, and who is obviously very, very much aware of our racial history, and I do not think it was an accident that Biden chose him, and I think that's one of his absolute first things that he got into was like, we got to get to the bottom of this. Of course, they all knew, of course, but knowing something and having the military leaders admit to it, because see, if the people are like that, people are people. Just because you're a military leader doesn't mean you're not a white supremacist or hold white supremacist ideologies. So a lot of times they'd say, well, it's just a small amount of people, and if they're not getting the complaints at the Pentagon, if they're not getting all this stuff, but I think this was just the good excuse that they needed. They appointed a man who gets it, and Biden did it. I think, as far as I can tell, Biden did us all a solid big time by appointing this man, because he understands systemic racism and he is not going to sit and watch it. And that was what I was very, very pleased about hearing about. I don't know much about Lloyd Austin, but I certainly am going to be knowledgeable. But that's one of the reasons, is because we're all in denial. It's so fun to be in denial. But this guy, with Biden's blessings, obviously he picked him, and immediately he's going to be looking into all this. But yeah, you're right. It's abhorrent. It's horrific. This should have been looked into centuries ago. I'm sorry, but
Well, absolutely.
Yeah.
I also want to touch on something. This was a movie that came out not too long ago called Judas and the Black Messiah. Guys, if you haven't seen this movie, please check it out. It deals with the Black Panther Party, specifically with Fred Hampton and William O'Neill, aka the Snitch, who basically was one of the reasons why Fred Hampton got killed. And it was about, J. Edgar Hoover, who was basically one of the most corrupt people, one of the biggest white supremacists of all time. If you watch the movie, you will hear him say, as they quote him, he says, "I don't care what you guys have to do. Find something, make something up. We got to get rid of this guy." So basically a guy, Fred Hampton, who was actually doing something for everyone. Like, I understand he was fighting systemic racism and so on, but he's one of the people that helped to get the Rainbow Coalition started. It's like he was trying to get everybody involved. Hey, it's not just Black people and they're poor and this and that. There's some white people and everyone else that's poor too. This is an economic problem and so on. He's trying to fight that, and they're trying to get rid of someone that also helped to start the breakfast program for kids, so that way when they go to school, they have something to eat. They don't have to learn on an empty stomach when they first get to school and so on. So this kind of thing doesn't really surprise me at all. With now, all of a sudden, decades later, the government is now investigating the white supremacist extremists and so on.
Well, Malcolm X, have you heard about that?
It's absolutely disgusting.
Have you heard Malcolm X? The relatives of Malcolm X have found some, or want the case opened up, and there's, oh my God, there's so much going down. And this nation, the depths of racism have no shame. It's unbelievable. It's I hear the stuff every day, learn something new, and it still just blows me away. The depths of this evil institution that we allow to keep continuing. So that was a good movie.
And the things that they will do to keep it going is ridiculous. Like William O'Neill, how basically he was the snitch. Basically, he was the Black man who infiltrated the Black Panther Party and so on. And he would tell them everything about what they were doing, but their main goal was to get rid of Fred Hampton, unfortunately, and they did succeed due to this man. And you can look it up. It's been an interview called Eyes on the Prize, whereas a day before they put it on the TV, William O'Neill, the snitch that was Black, he committed suicide. This was in 1990.
We have a very corrupt government.
The thing was, they also tried to get Malcolm X to turn against his own people too. So people just need to realize that these people are just absolutely evil. Like, they will go through any cost or whatever they have to go, whatever measures, just to down Black people again and again and again.
Yes,
and it's very sad because it's like, you are that pathetic of a person to hate someone just for existing. This is why, like, I won't stop talking about this kind of stuff, because the more you learn about Black history and so on, it's not just a month. This should be just Black history period. It's an all-year thing.
Absolutely.
It's a required thing. You have to learn about it, because
Absolutely.
the people that always say the craziest things in the world literally have no clue about Black history and stuff that Black people did to get things rolling and so on and so forth. Like, for example, immigration.
Yeah.
I find it ridiculous that right now, and again, I don't condone any sort of racism whatsoever, whether it's Black people, Asians, Hispanics, etc. I don't condone that. But what I find ridiculous is how now all of a sudden there's a quote unquote rise in Asian racism. If you look at most of those cases, again, I'm not downplaying. I'm not saying that anything done to Asians is correct. Like, it's fine. It's not. But it's like the moment some random person comes up and just attacks an Asian person, they're screaming that it's Asian hate. Now they're trying to say Asian lives matter. I'm like, whoa, time out. Yeah. So when we were going through all this stuff for many years, and it's always a different movement for us to get people to realize, hey, you know, stop attacking Black people. And it's like always evidence, like someone hurling racial epithets or something like that. You know, it's always clear, like cut and paste. But then one random thing or two random things happen to an Asian, like they get robbed. Oh, this is racist. No, like that's very disingenuous. And, you know, it's really sickening when one group, aka us Black folks, we come out and tell you guys every single day, like, what's going on. And then something happens to an Asian, now all of a sudden people change their mind. Yeah, this is racist, guys. We got to do something about this Asian hate and so on. It's like, I really don't get it. Like,
yeah, it's very cruel. It's very
that much.
It's very cruel. And white supremacy and racism is truly there is a special hatred. I don't get it. I don't pretend to get it. There is, that crowd's back. There is a special evil hatred against Black people. And when, you know, Asians are the, I guess, chosen, they call them the, you know, they still get obviously racism going on, but I know what you're talking about. There's some resentment because you're thinking like, okay, we've been Black folks, it's absolutely wholly different. That's why we don't call Black people people of color. We have a category for them alone because their experience has been so distinctive and so horrendous. And it's not to say that other people in different situations, but overall, you're right. And it is really, really sad. And I don't understand it. It's almost like, we got to work together. We got to unite against the wealthiest elite, and the wealthiest elite, they love pushing the ticket of Asian people, this, and, putting us against each other. It's, it is a very, very, there's a lot of really bad bigotry, like Asian society, like in white society, so they've been kind of the chosen. It doesn't mean they don't have racism against them, but it would bother me. I could see it really, really pissing me off that all of a sudden, like, they're trying to, because now it matters because it's happening to them. But that's the way white people are. We don't give a shit until it happens to us. So it's like, they're only following white supremacy. They're only trying to, it sucks. And I definitely would be incredibly resentful. I know there's been a lot of tension, and you know what? The wealthiest elites who are white are thrilled because they want us fighting amongst each other so that we don't realize who the real cause of all of our problems are. And that's the wealthiest white elites who run us. And it's cruel what's been going on, and
it is.
It really is. But
another point I wanted to mention was, so I just saw the movie Judas and the Black Messiah. I saw that a couple of days ago, Sunday. Again, excellent movie. Check it out, guys. But so I went with my girlfriend. She had to go to the bathroom. I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm just waiting there. One guy comes up. He works in the movie theater. He says, "So, what's making the movie?" I'm like, that's all I said. I really didn't have anything to say to anyone. I thought it was a great movie, but I just kind of wanted to just keep to myself.
Yeah.
Then another guy that comes up, by the way, they're both white and I'm black.
People came up
Another
to you.
guy
Two
comes
people
up
came
and
up to you?
What's up?
Two people just came up to you randomly in the movie theater while you were waiting for your girlfriend?
This is after the movie was
Damn.
done. Yeah, so I was waiting because she was using the bathroom.
Right,
the
but like that's
guy
kind of
that works the movie theater, he was talking to me real quick. I'm like, whatever. I'm like, yeah, it was good. And just shaking my head. Then another guy comes up. They're talking amongst each other and all that, and they're like looking at me, like looking for like my opinion or whatever. I'm like, I don't want to talk to anyone. So the one guy that didn't work at the movie theater says, well, you know, I just don't get it. You know, there's like a lot of misogyny and there's drugs and this and that during that time period. I just don't understand why they didn't cover that. And this is what I mean with certain white folks. What is it that when we bring up facts about history, it's not to hurt anyone's feelings. It's, again, it's called history. You have to learn from history. Otherwise, you're doomed to repeat it.
Which we
Why
are.
is it that every single time facts are brought up about stuff like this, it's like you said in your lesson, white fragility. That white fragility comes out, and like the guy got all butthurt, and it's like, well, you know, I don't understand why they couldn't show it from both sides. What the hell are you talking
They're on
about?
both
A
sides.
guy that was only 21 years old got murdered because he was actually trying to do something. He had the socialism thing going on. He had the rainbow coalition.
There's no
He had all that
sides.
stuff going on. He called out the police and everything.
There's no
He
sides.
got killed. They
Oh,
did
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Like, what is? I just don't understand that. Like, what do you think about that? Because you are white. Why is it that white people do that? Like, we could sit there and tell them exactly what happened and everything, and it's like that's not good enough. Like, they can't accept it, and then they just get like all like bent out of shape about it. Like, what's up with that?
So he wanted a movie. He wanted the movie to show the murderer, the cruel, horrific murderers side. There are no sides. A little psycho.
Yeah.
Sides? There's no sides. You act like a
Yeah, he
freaking
said,
human.
I wish they would have showed it from both sides. And I'm like, what is he talking about? It's
There aren't
black
two
people
sides.
trying to progress the movement of black people within the country.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And stop having the police just kill us and do whatever they want.
There's no sides.
What sides? What are you talking about? Yeah,
What a
that's what I
moron.
don't get.
What a moron. Jesus. This is the crap you get. You get more of this. Oh, somebody, my friend T. Rogers wants to know, deflect to defend. Yeah, exactly. They're just trying to, they just can't face it. It's, we can't handle the truth. My friend T. Rogers wants to know, can you type out the name of the movie when you get a chance? Because she wasn't quite sure of the exact words, and could you just type in if you can. You don't have to do it right now, but
We type in what?
she wants to know what the name of that movie was.
Oh, it's Judas and the Black Messiah.
Gotcha. Okay. Judas
Yeah.
and the Black Messiah. Thank you. Yeah, you just said it really fast, which is totally fine, but I think she wants to look into it. So awesome.
Yeah.
Judas and the Black Messiah. Okay, you don't have to write it. Thanks. Because yeah. Wow, you get people coming up to you doing so much crap to you.
I don't even know. And
what the hell's wrong with
I'm
people?
not even at work this time. And then my girlfriend came out. I'm like, did you hear that? She's like, yeah. I'm like, this is exactly what I keep telling you. Like, I'm just sitting there just doing the most mundane things ever known to man. And here you go. You got these people come out of nowhere saying the most off-the-wall crap to me for no apparent reason. I don't get it. I give up.
It's white fragility and our
yeah, that's all I can think about at this point. When the guy got all upset, this is biased. They need to show both sides. I'm like, what the hell is he talking about? Like, wow.
Damn. That's that takes a lot of gall too. I'm so sorry that you.
Yes, it does.
Both sides. I'd be like, what are you talking about? Both sides. There aren't two sides.
I was confused when you said both sides. I'm like, what is he?
Like, what am I missing here? You weren't paying attention to that movie. Like, what?
Yeah, I guess we weren't watching the same movie. Yeah,
nope.
Apparently not. Maybe he had the 3D version where there's no black people in it.
He was traumatized.
I don't know
You know what? He was probably traumatized by the movie because, I don't know people like this. Or if I do, they sure as hell are quiet around me. But I imagine you'd have something in you. I mean, if you're still like considered human, that would make you be like, you know what? I'm a piece of shit. I really am. I mean, how do the people look in them? I don't know. I don't know how it works, but something in them has got to know how incredibly hurtful they are. Whether it's subconscious or whether it's the 3-year-old them that, played with black, brown, indigenous, white kids and knows they're perfectly human. And I don't know. Something's wrong with people. I don't get it.
I just have a feeling that when it comes down to it, it's not for all white people. Not all white people are like this. Obviously, you can't make it thing.
We're all special.
For the ones that are like basically deep inside, they are indoctrinated and racist or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like when they see the fact, they are scared that there is a possibility that that's what they feel inside. Like when they see the movies and they see the white people attacking the black people throughout history, like it's recorded history and everything. Mm-hmm. They're scared that that's something they see in themselves. Like maybe that's how they feel and stuff. And then when it comes to the big screen and stuff, they get all scared about it. I'm like, there's nothing to be scared about. Like if we're learning from history, why would you want to repeat what they did? Like,
right, they're having an emotional reaction. Absolutely. They're having an emotional reaction to the movie. And because, see, we as whites, and I don't speak for all of us, but we don't want to think about this. We don't want, like when Colin Kaepernick, you know, we just want, we want to watch black people play football. But we don't want to think of them as human. I mean, geez, you know, that's honestly, that's the truth of it. And when he started doing his kneeling, he was in our face and we didn't like it because we had to face the truth. And so it's a matter of white folks running away from the truth because we're too wimpy to deal with it. I don't know how else to put it. I mean that in the nicest way, but
I think the most ironic thing about that whole flag thing was they said you're disrespecting the flag, but last I checked on January the 6th, 2021, an officer who they also said we were disrespecting, we need to comply and stuff, was not only beaten, but he was beaten with a flag by the same people that said we were disrespecting the flag.
It's the hypocrisy
guys kneel during the national anthem. I don't know.
The hypocrisy is real.
There's a hidden section of the brain that these white supremacists have access to that no other person known to man has access to, but I don't know. But you let me know what you think about that. But
they turned on the blue light. They turn on blue lights faster than you can blink an eye. Yeah, it's because it was all an excuse. It was all just we'll do anything to maintain our white supremacy. Anything. Yeah. And so we are illogical. We don't make sense. We don't use common sense. We have conspiracy theories. We make up shit. I mean, we're desperate. And that is desperate. And the third stanza of the, the little song that they sing is very nasty by Francis Scott Key, who was an attorney who fought against abolitionists in court. And he was a racist man who was a slave owner, and he wrote that song. And It's racist as fuck. And the bottom line is most people don't know that, but Colin Kaepernick consulted people in the military to find out exactly how to go about doing this. And I know you probably know this. And he did it the right way. He took the high road, and we still didn't like it. Because, see, we don't want to see this. We love Black culture. We just don't love Black people. And that's disgusting.
Yep, I've told that to people all the time. They like everything about us except us ourselves, you know, like I don't get it.
It's really just, it is.
Once again, thanks again for holding the stream and everything. Sorry to hold you up.
Not at all. I love having you, Colin. I love having you, Colin. And I haven't gotten, the part I was trying to get to, and I'm not going to get to it tonight, is the stuff I wanted to talk about the being employed, having a white employer and a white boss who basically shuts down the talking about anything racist that's going on and defers and deflects. And so we'll have to get into that because I have, I'm going to be doing a video on it, and I would love your input. So.
Yeah, if you want me to, I can hold off on that for now. It's up to you. Unless you want like a little teaser about that.
Well, we can hold off because I'm not going to get to it because it's almost 11. Oh, oops. I cannot see. It's 11:15. So I'm sure people want to go to bed. Right. But thank you so much for calling in. You're wonderful.
No problem.
Always great to hear what you have to say. And sorry about that experience at the movies. Jeez.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. Not gonna lie.
I'm at a movie. God, leave me alone. Wow. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Well, you went to a movie that was on a subject that a lot of.
Can't even see a movie about Black history without folks
going crazy.
Oh, no. And they have to go up to the first.
I basically should expect that. The moment I step outside my door, I should always expect that. So I guess that's my fault. Whoops. Totally forgot. I can't get comfortable, right?
Yeah. See, and what you're saying right now, I've heard from so many people. It's just that you didn't have that before when you were in another state. So it's new in that sense. So it's shocking. And the reason I say systemic racism is a crime against an ongoing crime against humanity is because exactly what you said. You said it all. Gee, I guess I should get used to it. Every time I walk outside my door, I have to be like, okay, what's going to happen? Who's going to do something? That is terrorism. Even if nothing happens, terrorists work in that they don't have to strike all the time, just once in a while. And you never know when it's going to happen. Hence the terrorist part. So it's appalling. And I'm actually very sorry that you can't somehow be, kept from that. Because you're a wonderful man. So, but
I appreciate it.
At least I get to hear what you have to say, and teaching us and all that.
I appreciate always being able to come on and stuff. That's definitely very helpful.
Thank you. You're wonderful.
It reaches other people that may or may not have been in here either. So
you're wonderful. Your wisdom is very much appreciated. All right, my friend. I see Don's writing in. Don better call in.
All right. Hey, I'll talk to you later.
Yes. Thank you, my sweet friend. Thanks for calling in. All right. Bye-bye. Okay, Don, I don't know about that. You're going to have to call in. Don says, did you see where the White House conservatives are losing their mind over the Coca-Cola controversy, telling employees to be less white? No, I did not. But now that you've brought it up, you best call us. Pat, well, the older blacks used to tell their children not to ever look any white person. I know. God, Pat, I'm just going to read that again. It's just give me an Emmett Till flash. Pat says, well, the older blacks used to tell their children not to ever look any white person in the eye. And when I did my interviews with my my friend Billy, who was one of the spaniels, the original spaniels, with bebop music, he had stories just like that, Pat. He's a bit older now, because he was one of the original spaniels, and beautiful voice. And he, oh gosh, you of all people should listen to his interview. He does an incredible interview, and he talks exactly what you're saying right there. He does that. I should reshare his stuff. His stuff's amazing. His history and his wisdom. Such a nice man. Such a nice man. He used to perform in the South too, and he had some very, very scary times. But I did an interview, a 3 or 4 interview series with him, and it was just absolutely wonderful. So it's definitely something to look into. I don't know if Don's going to give us a call, but I'll hang for just a little bit longer. I want to tell you guys what is going on with this. I started a story and I try to finish it. Hopefully Don will call. Oh yeah, they weren't allowed to touch. People don't even realize, Pat, that in Jim Crow era and segregation, it wasn't just schools and buses. It was everything. Via Noob, I have ignored you this entire night. I am so sorry. Thank you for being here. Good night. People are like, I'm exhausted. But anyway, Via Noob, thank you so much for being here. I kept seeing your name and I'm like, But yeah, it wasn't just that. Libraries, books. You couldn't even use the same freaking book. I mean, it's insanity. Hospitals, nursing homes. It's total insanity. And you know what? White folks don't even know our own history. And that is unacceptable. We need to know our real racial history. How in the world are we going to understand the issues and problems we have today if we have absolutely no historical perspective? about things that went on, redlining and sundown towns and black codes and slavery by another name and you know, read the new Jim Crow, whatever. I mean, just like your opinion is kind of rendered like, I don't know, worthless. No offense. If you don't know our real racial history, anything you have to say is just about emotion. Hello.
I am so sorry. I know it's so late on the East Coast.
Not at all. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hi.
Yeah, I didn't know if you had seen that article and the commentary that
Tell us.
has got in the Trump. Well, it's another example, really, of flagrantly people in high positions not having diversity in their boardrooms. Because what Coca-Cola apparently was trying to do was diversify their, and you know how we feel about this, tolerance, whereas we always say that should be celebration, not tolerance of diversity.
Gee, thanks. Tolerance? I'd be like, F off.
So
it's ridiculous.
With the Fourth Reich regime over, which had been harshly opposed to this, Coca-Cola was trying to turn things around and do the right thing, because apparently they discovered within their ranks they've got a big problem. They had a huge Trumpster population, and they were having trouble interfacing with the rest of the diverse population in their workforce. So they introduced diversity training and racial equity training, and apparently one of the well-intentioned but poorly worded, poorly conceived phrases that they put out there was to be less white. And I'm sure they were trying to say less white supremacist, but it came out all wrong. And it has created an enormous nightmare of just the opposite of what they had intended for it to do. So I wasn't sure if you were aware that it happened and what the controversy was. Well, those are the broad strokes of exactly what was going on.
Oh, definitely look into it. Wow. Okay, that's interesting.
I don't know how they do damage repair over that. I guess the only good news is that now that they've kind of messed it up in the rollout,
it's out. It's all open.
Fortunately, there weren't a number of African Americans in the senior management group for them to blame it on. I think that certainly if there had been, it would have been a much more delicately worded and
when you say
with a lot more.
Explain, when you say blame it on, you mean that came out, or explain? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that if that statement had been written by a black management person, that person would have been shown the door.
Thrown under the bus. They throw them under the bus, kind of.
Thrown under the bus.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would have said, "Oh, well, that was the problem, and we got rid of the problem.
Right.
We excised that problem."
Oh, yeah, they would have
Let's
absolutely.
move along.
Mm-hmm. Yep, but they didn't have anyone to throw under the bus. So that's the only good part about not having.
The phraseology was so ham-handed that it was clear that it was not done by a minority person.
Or a trainer.
Let's face it, someone.
Or a trainer. That's ridiculous.
Or a properly diversity trained white person.
That's a ridiculous thing to say.
So it just. I don't know how they recover from this. Eventually, time will help. But they being the hardcore conservatives are on the warpath now over the way that was rolled out and handled, et cetera. And
sounds like a
they're
disaster.
taking it way far to the other extreme in response to basically justify their extreme white supremacist position.
We love it. We'll do
it kind of poured gasoline on the fire and it was intended to do just the opposite. It was intended to give people diversity training so they wouldn't be so racist. And what it did was the way that it rolled out so awkwardly, to be polite about it, it has had the opposite effect. So
we get very offended. We get very offended when anybody dares to question our whiteness. I mean, we don't even like to hear the word white. It's like we don't even want to hear the word white. So I mean, yeah, it's pretty bad. Damn. Well, thank you for sharing. I'm gonna have to look into that.
Yes.
Interesting.
Serious infringement on their privilege.
Yeah. Boy, oh boy. So that's not gonna go away anytime soon, I'm guessing.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, that's gonna get ugly. Wow. Well, thank you for sharing that with us. I've always loved it when you call in. Thank you so much. And
my pleasure, ma'am. You're very welcome.
Thank you.
You saw that Joe Manchin, the Dino, the Democrat in name only, Senator Joe Manchin. He originally was opposed to the Native American woman that was presented to be the next Secretary of Interior, and he has apparently someone has gotten to him with some kind of logic about how the optics of that look really, really bad for him to be opposed to a Native American being in charge of the Secretary of Interior. And he has switched over to finally seeing the right way and said he will vote to confirm her.
Damn. Wow. Yeah, you know, I just, we got issues in this country. They are deep. And the depths of them, we only are just barely hitting the surface.
Well, here's another problem. The woman that has been selected to be the OMB, the Office of Management and Budget Director, is an LGBTQ female, and she's being vilified. I hope you're sitting down. I know you are for this. She's being vilified by the Republicans for insensitive and negative tweets in her past.
The hypocrisy is real. Thank you for the sitting warning.
Yeah,
please.
The Democrats are jumping up and down and screaming all over that hypocrisy. Of course, they won't admit it, but
that's hilarious.
Good grief.
They have some freaking nerve. Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow.
Did you see the answer that Merrick Garland gave to that Republican senator that said, well, why can't you promise that you're going to do this and that in the Justice Department? And he said, I'm not going to make any rulings until I've seen all of the facts. He said, well, William Barr was able to make that commitment. Why can't you? And he said, because I'm not a liar.
That's awesome. Wow. You guys, I don't know if you heard my rant, but I think you would have it was a really short rant. I think you would have appreciated my rant.
No, I missed it. Really
I'm sorry.
Short.
It's okay. It's recorded, but I think you would appreciate it because it hits all these topics. Basically.
Okay, great.
Awesome. Well, thank you for the tidbits. That's awesome.
You're very welcome.
You're wonderful. Thank you so much for calling in.
You're very welcome.
We'll talk to you soon.
I know it's getting late. Take care. God bless.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh my gosh. All right. That was Colonel Kremlin. He always has the good tidbits. He is good. So I'm going to really quickly wrap it up. If people still have a minute. So let me see. I gotta get back to my spot. Where was I? Still going. So here's the question, I guess, that they had, and the reason they're looking into this big time, our military. The military is not just going to look into individuals, but they are going to now be looking under this new man's tutelage and his guidance and leadership. They are going to be looking into reviewing all policies of extremist activity in the military. We're clearly We clearly recognize the threat of domestic extremism, particularly those who espouse white supremacist or white nationalist ideologies. We are actively involved in trying to improve our understanding of where the threat is coming from as a means of understanding and taking action. And they will be booting people's bottoms out. The official pointed to a study on domestic terrorism, which they found that between 2001 and today, right-wing extremists are responsible for more deaths in this country than any other extremist group. Many are based on data. many are based on data that's both public statements from our own FBI. What do you know? Z, we're becoming enemies of the state, Mom, for our political beliefs. Well, yeah. I guess humanists, being a humanist is kind of out of vogue for half of the nation, or I don't know. I don't know. This is crazy. So far, NPR and other news organizations have been able to only gather a few statistics here and there on this information, because obviously they're not going to advertise what they're doing with regards to the military. They're not really talking a lot, but the Marine Corps says in the last 3 years, it's found 16 cases of substantiated extremist behavior, mostly obvious posts on social media. The troops said that they'd seen swastikas being drawn on service members' cars, tattoos affiliated with white supremacy, stickers supporting the Ku Klux Klan, Nazi-style salutes between individuals, things like that. But it's all, wishy-washy. This could be a huge undertaking. They're going to be revamping, and I am hoping under this man's leadership, getting rid of people who cannot act human. And I say that in the nicest way. I mean that in the nicest way. If you cannot look at your brother and sister of humanity and treat them like a human being, you got some serious issues. Here's the problem. There's going to be a lot of crazy little, areas. Like there's so many questions. Like, what about soldiers who wear a T-shirt that says "Stop the Steal"? I mean, the argument could be made that soldiers saying the election was a fraud and therefore his commander-in-chief is illegitimate. That could be illegal under military law, which obviously prohibits contempt towards an officer. But what about, there's just so many what about. And so they're really going to have to look into this and see what they're going to do. You cannot legislate a person's heart. And it's rather unfortunate. Sorry, I'm just saying, because be a hell of an easy way to do it, because I don't understand it. I will not pretend to understand it, but it needs to stop. So tell me what you think. Anyway, I am going to say goodnight to everybody. Thanks for being here. I didn't get to half the stuff I was supposed to get to, but I am thrilled. We had so many phone calls, and this was a wonderful conversation. And thank you very much. Do not forget, I'll be on Sunday. If you want to chat, I'm just going to be hanging out 3 to 5. We have the book club coming up 2 weeks from now, Sunday at March 7th. We're going to be doing this book, and you don't even have to read the book. All right? So thank you so much for being here. And good night, everybody. Please check out the videos that I've done this week. One of them, I loved it. Nobody else loved it. So hopefully people will check it out and get to see that. And if you feel like I do, that it is way past time for white America to start learning our real racial history and stepping up to the plate and supporting equity for everybody in this country, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. I'd love to say hi to you, and my contact information is in there somewhere. Probably like 3 or 4 times. So thank you for watching, and come by on Sunday. Don't be a stranger. This is wonderful. Thanks for being here. Check out some of my new videos, and I'm excited about the top 10 stuff that I'm going to be doing. So please make sure to personal message me, because I really want to know what you think. Good night, everybody. Thank you. Sweet dreams. It's getting late.